what's your go-to horror film, and why do you like it?
Well, I mean, I have a lot of films that I've liked, but my all-time favorite is The Exorcist, because that was a subject matter that, at the time, if you saw it in the theaters, which most of you did not, it was groundbreaking material. So I think this, much later, it's still a good movie.
Thank you.
I think obviously just talking about the horror genre as a whole, it's a genre that creates very strong reactions in both directions. It has a uniquely devoted fan base, and it also has uniquely vocal critics. I'm curious how you feel about that, what's special about the genre, and why you think it does attract such strong reactions.
First of all, talking about the critics, I'm not crazy about about them, because most of us realize that everyone that plays horrible, murderous killers in films are usually very nice people. And if you come across any assholes, sorry, it's the comedians. The ones you want to love because they make you laugh, they turn out to be the less friendly than somebody like that plays characters like I do. So first of all, horror, we've never tried to say that horror is for everybody. So it's a specific fan that likes those kind of movies, and if you don't like them, don't watch them. That's all. Don't try to dictate what other people watch. I never liked that whole state of mind when people presume to tell other people what to do with their lives. So keep watching.
You seem to have been involved in a paranormal exploration group with a few of your other cohorts from the horror films. Can you talk a little bit about your experiences with that?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been interested in the paranormal world and the possibility that spirits and ghosts, for lack of a better term, exist. So I've always been fascinated by that kind of thing. When I was doing a film at Mansfield State Penitentiary, it's a well-known old prison that we were shooting a film in, I was with a buddy of mine, Rick McCullum, and we were doing the film, but we thought one night that we would take a walk around the creepy part of the building where nobody was shooting. And we saw something at the end of the hall, and that's when we both realized that we were both really interested in the paranormal world. So we thought, let's form a group. So we formed Hollywood Ghost Hunters, and every member in our group has something to do with making horror films. Directors, makeup effects, actors. And I just thought it was an interesting group of ghost hunters that, you know, let's see if we can get scared when we do the scaring ourselves, and we know how to create things. Let's see if anything makes us uneasy. So we've been all over the world, really, investigating a lot of places. Rick just made his second trip to Scotland because he's got Scottish ancestors, and he investigates over there quite a bit. So we just find it interesting, and I've really never had any good experiences while on a ghost hunt. And I don't say nothing happens, but I'm very careful to not exaggerate. If something small happens, I don't want to automatically assume it's paranormal. If there could be a possible natural explanation, then, you know, it doesn't excite me as much. So I classify myself as an open-minded skeptic.
Leading on from that question, obviously you scare people with Jason and Victor Crowley and some of these other characters. What scares you?
I mean, the real answer is not fun, but honestly, nothing in the typical area of being scared scares me, like, you know, heights and spiders or any of the typical phobias. None of them bother me, but I've recently answered this question. Again, I say it's not a fun, creative answer, but if you really want to know what scares me, then Alzheimer's does. To not remember somebody you've lived with for 60 years, suddenly that's terrifying. So, like I said, it's not a fun answer, but I wish I could say spiders or snakes or fire doesn't even scare me. I mean, I almost died doing a fire stunt, but even that doesn't scare me, so I guess I'm not real bright.
What would you say is your proudest achievement in film to date?
I mean, it has to be being the only person to portray Jason in more than one film. I mean, that's pretty special considering how many people have played the character over all the films, and all the other guys have done one movie each. And I did 4, so I mean, that's pretty hard not to say that's right at the top of the list. I'm very proud of that, and I'd love to come back and do another one. I think I could still kill people.
I was wondering, over the last decade, are there any productions, directors or writers in horror which you find especially interesting?
Sure. I mean, I was very happy to do a movie called The Devil's Rejects with Rob Zombie because I was always a fan of his music. And then when he started making films, I thought he had an interesting way of making a story come to life. So I was very happy to work with him. There's been several movies that come to mind that I was really happy to work with the director in particular. There was one called Monster with Charlize Theron. I was a stunt coordinator on it, and I played the cop that arrested Charlize at the end of the movie. But that was directed by Patty Jenkins, who went on to direct Wonder Woman. So I knew she had the capability of doing big things just working with her on Monster. So it's nice when you can appreciate someone's talents and then they move on and do something huge. So
we've just seen a new remake of Halloween, well, continuation sort of thing. Do you think that sort of thing would happen with Friday the 13th or Hatchet?
I don't think it would happen with Hatchet because that's kind of a continuing story still. So it wouldn't be a remake, it would just be another movie. And I would love to do some more Hatchet films because I think they're tremendous movies, really well done. And now I'm hearing that they might be thinking of another Friday the 13th, reboot, whatever you want to call it. And I hope who's ever in control considers having me come back. I've heard that LeBron is supposed to produce it. So I thought it was a joke when I first heard it, but I don't think it is, unless it's just a well pulled off joke. But it seems like he really wants to produce the next one, so who knows? I'd like to kill him in a movie, just for fun. I mean, I killed a good friend of mine. Do you guys know the Impractical Jokers TV show?
Yeah.
In the 4th Hatchet movie, Q was in the movie because he's a huge horror fan. And so he asked, Adam if he wanted to be in the movie, and we're all like, yeah, of course, because I'm a huge fan of their show. And so it's fun when you get to work with people that are your friends already. And the Hatchet movies, I have worked with all of my friends, Tony, Todd, Robert Englund, Derek Mears, goes on and on, R.A. Mihailoff. It's interesting because all of them, except me, have ended up dead in the movie. So I've killed a lot of famous horror icons. I don't think anybody else could say that. And if they do, I'll kill them.
Sorry, guys.